Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Listen, we're going to talk about, I found out a lot of stuff about Minnesota over in St. Paul and the Somalian community over there. These people are absolutely no help in American society at all. They're not. They are running all kinds of scams. They are strung out on opioids. I read that Somalia, over there in St. Paul and their neighborhood, they got a terrible opioid problem. Okay, so they're strung out on drugs. They're getting all kinds of government assistance. They're running all kinds of scams, scamming all kinds of money out of the government. And, at the end of the day, these people are not contributors in this society. And you're going to see even one point the president of Somalia and Ilhan Omar and a couple of other people were at a meeting over there in Somalia, and he was pretty much telling the Somalians to get in elected office, take seats that should be going to Black Americans, and they get those seats, in the government. I said, "See, that's why they need to slam the door on all of these immigrants, for real." Look at what we saw just this 1 week alone. We saw these, I think they were Nigerian women with their hair salon down there in Alabama, pretty much kidnap and just threatened and harassed a woman up in their store, pulling and yanking on all her hair and everything. And now all these scams these folks are doing, then I don't see the point in them being here. I don't blame Donald Trump in this instance for getting these folks out. And that's what he said. They got these Somalian gangs, which they do, and they're not doing anything but running all kinds of scams. You know, they're literally turning St. Paul into Somalia. That's what they're doing. And just looking at them, it is just, they are a drag on society. It makes me laugh that many of them come here and they think they're better than us. But when you hear about the things they're doing and see what they're doing, they're actually a drag on society. They're not big contributors at all. They're not. And it's a joke that Biden opened up the door for people like this to even come here. Come here and do what? Run scams all over the place? We don't need people like that here. So I'm going to share my screen. I want y'all to listen closely to some of the things that are said about these people. Before we get to that, I just want to put out a reminder. All right, the cyber sale is on over on Etsy. Now, the one for Shopify will be tomorrow. All you got to do is check the community tab. So if you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code cyber25 and you'll get 37% off of the ticket price. So just go on over there, take advantage. I'm going to be, as some things sell out, I'm going to be putting those back up, because right now I am fully stocked. So if anything runs out, I'll catch it and I'll just put it back up there. So y'all, make sure you take advantage and get your products at a much lower price. All right. So let me get the one. Yes. Okay. Okay. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
A new, stunning report from the City Journal showing a massive fraud scheme in Minnesota. You have to hear about this. It involves false autism claims, the Somali community, and connections to a terror group. Let's explain over at the wall. Now, it all revolves around autism and HSS program. That is Minnesota's Medicaid Housing Stabilization Services. Now, this was created to help seniors, addicts, and others find housing. But the criteria to enter this program was incredibly loose and therefore easy to take advantage of. It's led to fraud and costs absolutely exploding. Just 5 years ago, in 2020, costs for this program were $2.6 million. 4 years later, by 2024, costs had been over $100 million, 104. Through the first 6 months of this year, costs are at 61 million, meaning if you double that over the entirety of the year, you're looking at $122 million. In 5 years, from 2 million to 122 million. Now, why? 6 people are accused of defrauding HSS. And they're members of the Somali community. But this just gets worse if we take a look at Minnesota's federally funded autism program. Now, several people, and this is an example, a woman in the Somali community, are co-conspirators, and they're accused of recruiting kids for autism therapy. They brought in families, had them convinced to get their kids diagnosed as autistic. In fact, these families ultimately ended up having various social services bid for their children, competing with the number size of check that they would get. It didn't matter if the kids had autism. And what happened? Autism claims to Medicaid surged. In 2018, $3 million. By 2023, listen here, from $3 million to $400 million. Autism providers jumped from 41 to 328 in 5 years. Now, City Journal reports that the Somali fraud rings send a lot of money back to Somalia. 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from abroad. That totals $1.7 billion. That is more than the entire budget of the Somali government. Money being sent abroad, from abroad, back to Somalia. Where is that money going? Take a look at this. Most alarmingly, a lot of that money is funneled through money traders, and in the end, ends up in the hands of al-Qaeda-linked Islamic terror group al-Shabaab. So to bring this full circle, the Minnesota taxpayers are funneling money through fraudulent autism claims back to Somalia, where that money lands in the accounts of al-Shabaab.
They got 3 people. They got 3 people. They got 3 people. They said only 1. They got 3 people. They said only 1. You should be embarrassed of yourself. United will never be defeated. The people 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 united will never be defeated. You can't wait to be somebody's dad, motherfucker. I can see it all over your fucking face. Shame on you, motherfuckers. Shame on you.
keep screaming this from every mountaintop I can. That's Hassan Ali, and this is Ilhan Omar. We know who Ilhan Omar. Hassan is the president or prime minister of Somalia. They had a roundtable meeting with nothing but Africans talking about getting in to American politics, but understanding that they are 100% Somalian and they will never change. Now, in this clip that I'm about to show, Mr. Ali, Hassan Ali, is talking and he's letting it be known that Ilhan Omar is there to take a Black American seat in Congress.
It is very important in Hanta, Somali, and Measures. Somalia are exceeding society. Of model.
They are not here to be our friends. They are not here to fight for all Black people. They are here to fight for Somalians. That's it. Those are not my words. It's their words. It's their actions, right? So before y'all jump on here, look, just another jealous Black American. I'm not jealous of anything. We can't be beat. We're undefeated here. That's something y'all forgot. Mind you, this shit was on camera. So I want to know what y'all got to say about that. I already know that Black Americans have no allies at all. We don't have friends here. We don't have allies here, especially Africans. It's sad, but it's true. And it's not coming from us. It's coming from you guys, because you guys come over here to this country, automatically look at us as enemy number one. Then you get caught on camera doing this kind of shit. It's absolutely crazy, but I love when people show their true colors. Please tell me who you are so I can believe you the first time.
I was thirsty as fuck. Nigga, I would have jumped off that roof. Fuck, look, right there, right there, right there. And I'm running. Look, I'm getting going, fuck.
Dang, niggas
They got the whole house surrounded.
Yeah, they ain't no niggas. They ain't no niggas. That niggas, man. We smart like that. So I don't know. We might have a chance to get away. They might not.
Did they go up in the motherfucking house or something?
What you talking about? We have.
Did they go up in the house already?
Yeah, they're right there. They're in the porch. They're in the middle house.
The porch?
Yeah. They haven't broke the door down.
Oh, they on the porch right here. 609. What's this? That's mine?
This is Rose.
609 Rose.
This Rose and
There. If you can zoom in, you'll see that they're on the porch trying to get the people.
These Somalis in Minnesota, what's going on? Scam after scam. This Somali man scammed hundreds of Somali families out of $1 million. Like, he charged them $25,000 a pop to hold a house for them. So he sold them this scam, like, hey, this is the housing development. This is how it's going to be. You see how it's this right here? Yeah, it's supposed to look like this, but this is what it really looked like for a whole year, almost 2 years. Then the judge finally stepped in and was like, yo, this is fraud. You promising these people these homes and you haven't even dug into the ground yet. It's still grass. And they try to catch up with this guy, and he already packed all this stuff in a U-Haul truck and bounced. Right. So now these Somali families are like, man, is he going to give us our money back? Because mind you, he charged them $25,000 a pop, each Somali family, and sold them a dream, excuse after excuse. And he had another fraud before this fraud, right, where he gave out a fake check to another Somali family, claiming that, yeah, I'm gonna pay you back, but it was a fake check. And this is all connected to Feed the Future. The Feed the Future $250 million scam. All this is connected, man. These Somalis, they done found a money glitch in Minnesota. Crazy. I hope those families are able to get their money back, though. It's nothing like being scammed by your own, right? A Somali sheriff's deputy in Minnesota said he's only there to protect and serve Somalians.
markaan haddaan askarnahay Soomaaliyeed idinka ayni shaqaynaa habeenii maalin idinka ayni taagannahay fahanteen horta saa ogtihiin waddankan anaga qaxootiyan imaanay askar Soomaaliya ma jiri jirin marka hadda aniga markii la haygareeyay waxay noqotay inaan dadkeena u shaqeyno dadkii dhaqankii ma fahmaynaa luqadii ma fahmaynaa culturekii ma fahmaynaa marka qofka kale mataqaana ajnabiga caddaanka iyo anagoo kala duwannahay because qofka gaabkii waxa uu dooda bridgekaas u fahantay marka insha allah waa mahadsantiin again ogaada askari kasta oo Soomaaliya dalka iyo dabadaba inuu ku shaqeeyaa habeenkii marka hurdaan iyo marka mataqaana achievetaanba
with all the scams and fraud that happened in Somali, could you imagine if the district attorney was a Somalian? All that will go unchecked with no consequences. How are you going to be a sheriff's deputy and say that you only stand with the Somalian people when you're supposed to protect and serve everybody that lives in your district, right, within your location? But he stated with Somalis here and Somalis back home, that's the only people he stand with.
Thanksgiving. I hope they come to your house and terrorize you. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
Get back to where you came from.
There's pepper spray people out the window. We have no weapons. We have no fucking weapons. We have no fucking weapons. Really? We have no fucking weapons.
A $250 million fraud scheme. Already 77 people, many of them Somali immigrants, have been charged in one of the largest taxpayer-funded scams in U.S. history. Minnesota, home to the largest Somali community in America, has become the center of this massive investigation. This is the Feeding Our Future scandal, a pandemic-era scheme in which defendants allegedly stole over $250 million meant to provide meals for low-income children. Instead of feeding kids, prosecutors say the money went toward luxury homes, high-end cars, jewelry, overseas transfers, and an entire network of shell companies. According to the DOJ, the conspirators submitted fake invoices, fabricated meal counts, and even staged photos to make it look like they were serving millions of meals that never existed. In some cases, they claimed to feed more children than lived in entire neighborhoods. A federal jury found Amy Bach, the founder of Feeding Our Future, and Salim Ahmed Saeed guilty of conspiracy, bribery, wire fraud, money laundering. Federal officials say more arrests may still be coming.
ICE agents pepper sprayed a woman with a cane today. That took place in St. Paul, Minnesota on Rose Avenue. So a peaceful crowd gathered, a large peaceful crowd, because it turns out when you're being violent with people's neighbors, they want to watch and see what you're doing and hold you accountable, because that's all we can do right now. So being the pussies they are, they called the police. Now they're saying it's because one of the suspects was driving away erratically, but they also used crowd control measures on the crowd, as you can see in that video. They pepper sprayed that woman, and they also shot a reporter with a rubber bullet, and he had to be taken away in an ambulance. You know what? And I'll have to say, this is horrible that this is happening, but it does give me a lot of hope when I see a bunch of people standing in solidarity. Do you remember that scene in V for Vendetta after that police officer shoots that little girl? That's where we are right now.
I have news. Somalians in Minnesota are pretending to have autism to steal your taxpayer dollars. In 2023, displaced Somalians sent back $1.7 billion to their Somali government. 40% of households in Somalia get paychecks from Somalis in America. They're getting this cash from scamming COVID programs, SNAP, Medicaid. So for example, autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota went from 3 million in 2018 to 399 million in 2023. So 1 in 16 Somali 4-year-olds have autism. That autism treatment is then administered by Somalis, reimbursed by federal taxpayer dollars, and then that stolen money is sent back home in the form of remittances, which is just cash as a gift. So essentially, Somali populations in Michigan and Minnesota are running these fraudulent crime rings that no one's talking about. So how did this happen? Well, for the past 30 years, Somalis have been under TPS, temporary protected status in America. Now, usually you only give TPS to some after an earthquake or a tsunami because you can't immediately send them back home to their country. In this case, Somalis just don't want to be sent back home. Somalia is obviously in Africa. It's a third world country. It's a mess because they can't figure out how to govern themselves. But it's not undergoing a natural disaster. So why are they not being sent home? Lord only knows. But after 30 years, President Trump is finally doing away with that policy. He's ended TPS for Somalis. And I would just love for them to stay forever, except the problem is that this group is not assimilated. They view themselves as separate people. They're police officers, they're local leaders, they're news people. They all speak Somali. They do not respect native-born Americans. And in fact, they refer to their white police officers as foreigners. They have ubiquitous control over law enforcement in Dearborn and Minneapolis, especially. Here's a video of a police officer apologizing because he exposed Somali criminal activity in Minneapolis.
Out of context in a way that's caused harm, I apologize and I'm sorry for that because that's not my intention.
I mean, there's nothing normal about this. It's been completely and utterly ignored by the media, and it's fraudulent criminal activity that we're just whatever. But get ready to hear a lot more about it very soon because I have a feeling the Trump administration is going in, deporting, and cracking down on the fraud that's grown rampant in these northern cities. I don't need my taxpayer dollars being sent to Somalia, thanks.
With my address on it?
This is her house.
I need a warrant with my home address on it. Do you want to see my mortgage? I own this house. I am upset because this is not.
You need a warrant. You need a warrant. You need a warrant. This is an illegal action without a warrant.
This is my property. You need a warrant.
You cannot trespass on her property without a warrant.
The church, you can use that. That you can use. They will authorize you. I will not. This is my home and my property. No, I am not.
She's not obstructing. It's her house. It's her land. She owns it.
I'm asking for a warrant with my address on it. Why can you not present that to me? Why can you not?
Obstruction of what? It's her house.
I do not believe you're allowed to do that on private property without a warrant.
That's crazy. That's insane.
A medical call to the front of the address. Please move your protest to the west. We will be conducting a line push. Do not interfere with the officer.
Insane.
We will be conducting a line push to the west. Do not interfere with our officers. If you do so, we may use force.
Pussy ass. I'm not moving. I'm just watching you fucking document crimes that you're committing.
Minnesota is home to the largest Somali population in the country. Today, they spoke out by breaking bread together. At a potluck designed to highlight unity, they said Trump is attacking Minnesota communities. Our Jason Rantala has the story.
Nothing can divide us. Community members packed the fourth floor of Carmel Mall, the first Somali mall in the country, calling out what they say is hateful rhetoric from President Trump.
We know what our president has done. It is an attack on our community.
Trump took to social media Friday night, claiming without evidence that Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state. Trump said Minnesota had become a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. Quote, send them back to where they came from. It's over.
99.99% of the Somali community are hardworking. They're good neighbors. We're trying our best.
Somali community members say the president's tweet is a distraction from the country's current affordability crisis.
He decided to also pit our communities against each other and attack our community.
I mean, we can't be Minnesota without them. They're part of.
Friends Cece McAlpin and Lori Carlson came here from St. Louis Park.
And I'm here to prove Donald Trump wrong, that these people are not causing trouble in our communities and in our cities. I want to prove him wrong and not just stay home and take this lock to the base.
Community members say they're here to stay, that Trump won't tear them apart.
The president's tweet cannot divide us, and it cannot change who we are.
In Minneapolis, Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
There are 705 Somali immigrants in the U.S. approved for TPS. President Trump has not provided further details on his plans.
Y'all see all this stuff going on among them Somalians? Yeah, that's all they are. And they got the nerve to come here and talk about us being criminals. They have literally, when you look at the gangs and everything out there, they have literally turned St. Paul into Somalia. They have ran the place down. Like I said, they have not been an added plus at all. But yeah, I'm all for Donald Trump. He needs to clear them all out. Don't leave any behind. Clear them all out. But that's okay. Whatever Donald Trump don't get out of here, the Most High will. Everybody must go back to their own land, whether they like it or not. But it amazes me how these folks always talk about their culture and how great it is. But every time they get caught by ICE, they break down and cry and wail and don't want to go back to their homeland. They cry so hard, it ain't even funny. So y'all, this is the state that everything is in, but ICE is in there. Usually when Donald Trump started talking about sending ICE, ICE is already there. They are already there. That's why I said the other day when I did my first one on this, and Donald Trump said ICE was getting ready to come to Minnesota. I said, no, they're already there. And they sure was. So they're scamming all this money from the government and funneling it all back to Somalia. Over $1 billion. Now, see, when we want some assistance, they want all kinds of proof. You got to provide all kinds of proof to them that you are in a certain state. They want all the red tape and paperwork when it's us. But you see how easy all they had to do was have a child and say the child was autistic, and they got funneled all this money. And like they said, they were able to buy fancy homes and luxury cars. Now, when you see them with those things, just know they didn't earn it. They didn't earn it at all. They always, because Nigerians do that shit too. They are big scammers, but they want you to think they work hard, they earn everything. No, that's why your asses are getting kicked out for having fake nurses degrees. And they said a lot of these Nigerian doctors are frauds too. No, that's how y'all gotta cheat and scam and lie and steal your way to the top. You don't work hard. That's a load of baloney. Mhm. I mean, these people are a trip. They come over here and they were criminals in their countries, y'all. Why do you think their countries never try to get these people back? Because they don't want them, because they were criminals when they were over there. They don't want them back. But on this one, and with this group of people, I do agree. Get them all out. We don't need them. They're not adding anything good to society at all. And y'all can take Ilhan Omar with you. Didn't she say she was against reparations? You can take her ass with you. Deport her ass too. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. And, I'm going to be doing more, but I'm trying to get kind of balancing everything because a lot of orders came in. So, I'm going to get those together so that I can still get some of them out today because the UPS store is going to be open for a couple of more hours so I can get everything over there. And, whatever comes in tomorrow will be ready to go out on Friday. So grab up everything while you can. And like I said, I'll watch for anything that sells out and I'll put that stuff back up immediately. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your afternoon and I will see you later. Shalom, family.